Blindness is present in Toni Morrison's Beloved. Throughout the novel, we see that Setha's love for Beloved blinds her to how evil Beloved really is. Everyone but her can see just how toxic their relationship is as Beloved begins to consume her life. As the relationship between Beloved and Setha grows stronger, a wall comes up between Setha and those who care about her the most. Beloved works hard to isolate Setha in order to increase her dependency on her. One of the people who really cares about Setha is Paul D. This becomes clear toward the end of the novel when he says he wants to put his story next to hers. Beloved recognizes this and wants to come between Setha and Paul D by forcing him to have sex with her and by driving him out of the home. When Paul D tries to learn more about Beloved by asking about her name, she replies that it is her name in the dark. This can be seen as Beloved trying to continue to keep her and Setha separate from everyone else, or that Beloved directly comes from a place where blindness or darkness is found. Everyone but Setha can see just how bad Beloved really is. This is most obviously shown in the contrast between Setha's two daughters. Beloved represents the past that Setha cannot let go of, while Denver represents the future. This is shown when Setha is so busy spending time with Beloved, she doesn't notice that Denver is transforming into an independent young woman throughout the novel. Or, if she does notice, she does not say very much about it. Because Denver can see more clearly how evil Beloved is, she feels a sense of responsibility for her mother who has grown weaker and weaker in Beloved's presence and her own guilt for the death of her baby. Denver says, "For a baby, she throws a powerful spell." This can tie into how Beloved represents the child that Setha has lost and how much of a connection the two have with each other. Denver becomes the vessel which allows Setha to see and connects her with the rest of the community. She provides an escape for her sins and guilt. Denver is the one who tells everyone about Beloved, and Janie then spreads the story around town, increasing the people's interest in her. This ultimately causes the town to realize how dangerous Beloved is and to make the decision to perform an exorcism. When the town comes knocking on the door, Beloved flees, allowing Setha to see once more. When Society Begins Falling Apart in the Road by Cormac McCarthy, we see people struggling for survival. Many of these people become so desperate to live that they are willing to give up much of their morals and give in to whatever they must do to get by. In McCarthy's story, we see that as society is going to pieces, one man struggles to protect his son and teach him the morals necessary to be a good person in a world full of darkness. Despite this, we still see the two characters struggle to maintain their humanity, particularly since everyone around them has lost it. They witness humans walking in a chained line. They are attacked by a man with arrows, and they come across a baby cooking, or to be more accurate, a baby being cooked. Their struggle to maintain their sight as they go through their journey on the road is ultimately what the novel is truly about. What does it take to be a good person in a world where few exist? In the road, blindness symbolizes the confusion and hopelessness of McCarthy's desolate world. This is seen in the first scene where the man dreams he is blind in a cave and being led by a child. He feels his dream reflects life in that he feels there is no end to their troubles in sight. The book reads, "Tolling in the silence the minutes of the earth and the hours and the days of it, and the years without cease." Whereas normally we would see the characters that become aware of their blindness enter more willingly into the reality of life, In the road, we see the father awaken from his dream and feel his clarity negated by the fear that in order to escape his harsh realities, he must find refuge in an eternal sleep. The father becomes obsessed with this idea as he reflects on his wife's own decision to commit suicide throughout the novel. The only thing keeping or forcing him to stay alive is his son. It is clear that the son is the best person out of every character in the novel. He is also the least blind, or he sees things the most clearly, if you will. He looks for the best in others and wants to help everyone. Examples of this would be him wanting to help the Lightning Man, trying to adopt the boy he finds, and returning clothes to the thief who stole from them. Despite the dad wanting so badly to shield and blind his son from the harsh realities of life, the son reminds his father that their humanity and goodness is what makes life worth living and allows them to push forward. In a way, the son is better at giving sight to the dad. Tying back to the opening dream, it is possible the child leading the man could be seen as the son. This could also make him a Christ figure. This is alluded to when the boy and the man meet Eli. It should be noted that Eli is blind. Eli says, "There is no God and we are his prophets." It would be very easy for the man to cave in and agree with him. Instead, he asks, "What if I said he is a God?" The boy is meant to be seen as a Christ figure who will ultimately redeem or save the world, if you will, that has fallen into darkness. It is important to note that Christ himself was known for giving sight to the blind. By making the boy a Christ figure, it is implied he will bring sight to the rest of the world, and he could possibly bring them out of the dark times they are in. On page 4, the man says of the boy, "If he is not the word of God, God never spoke." In the conclusion of the novel, McCarthy writes, "All these things he saw and did not see." This can be seen in one of two ways. He saw everything, but he did not care because he was above it or because he was focused on something else. This is something that many of us do in our own lives. We may be somewhere, but we aren't truly present. We're focused on something else or wishing we were somewhere else instead of noticing what is happening around us. Another way this can be viewed is that, despite seeing everything, he does not understand the real meaning of things. An example of this would be when the man and the boy notice a group of people eating together. At first, they think it is a family and that they are having a special moment. After the group flees and they inspect the site, however, they realize that people were eating the remains of a baby. This changes how they view the situation. Sometimes the characters see things and their perspective causes them to not fully comprehend what is happening. They are blinded by their bias and can be seen as having a potentially one-sided look on life. This is something that can also be tied to our own lives, as many of us allow our bias to dictate how we think about or view others.